What's good, y'all? Welcome in to a sports prediction 101 SmackDown report. We in here. And this one right here is the difference between Dan Raphael and BFTB. And before I even get started, I want to say this. Bill then took this nigga BFTB on a date like a chick, and he happy that she happy that they ate, and now all of a sudden you a pay-per-view source. Now all of a sudden you a pay-per-view source, and shut the fuck up about why people care about pay-per-view numbers now. You wasn't saying that shit just a few years ago about Bud. When Bud was trying to come up and you kept on riding about his pay-per-views was only 150,000. You wasn't saying shit about Dan Raphael or Rick Blazer numbers back then on none of that shit, dummy. Check this out, y'all. Dan Raphael, who he trying to talk down on or act like he better than Dan Raphael or Rick Blazer. Let me tell you something. Dan Raphael attended Bingham University, where he started writing for a school paper, while BFTB was a yes man trying to start a military life. Dan Raphael covered baseball through USA Today, and then years later, he started covering boxing. He started covering boxing under a license. You feel me? To do what he do, making him an inside person in the business. And all this time, BFTB still wasn't even a thought on YouTube at all. Dan Raphael and Rick Blazer was counting pay-per-view numbers and working with people that get the actual and closest ballpark figures of numbers that they can come to. And they've been doing this shit for years. For over a decade. These people specialize in counting pay-per-view numbers, while BFTB simply happy to know he know Bill. You see the difference? That's the difference. He simply happy to know Bill, and they've been doing the work that they've been doing for boxing for years. Bill Haney got this dude deluded to the point that he think Bill is also credible, or one of the credible pay-per-view count sorters. He think Bill Haney sort pay-per-view numbers now too. When these dudes been credible pay-per-view count sorters, they've been doing this shit for all the sports for years. These motherfuckers that BFTB trying to talk about. I mean, that he trying to hate on. Because he trying to cover for Devin. All this is because he only a fan of a fighter. This one fighter he a fan of that he trying to help in any kind of way that he can. But none of that shit helping. BFTB is a YouTube guy that got a chance to hang with Bill during a fight week in places he don't get to go without a guy like Bill. Now all of a sudden, he is a fucking pay-per-view source. All of a sudden, you turn into a pay-per-view source. And he got a valid connect to all pay-per-view numbers when he barely connected to boxing, period. if YouTube disappeared, this goofy dude would be crushed to the point he would be crushed just on the simple fact that he can't act no more. Acting like a fucking pay-per-view plug now. Dan Raphael or Rick Glazier ain't got no reason. They ain't got Dan Raphael or Rick Glazier ain't got no motherfucking reason to lie about motherfucking Devin numbers. Or not give you correct ballpark numbers on Devin. On Devin fight like they do every other motherfucking fighter. Why would they do that? What's the reason? Why would they do that? For what? They don't got no personal motherfucking vendetta with Devin. BFTB mad because Devin versus Regis did 50K pay-per-view buys, and now he gone diluted again. Talking about Bill told him 135K, a little short of 150K what Loma and Devin did. That's what he made sure he said. He made sure he said that. A little short of what Loma and Devin did. And guess who BFTB got the Loma and Devin 150K from? Yeah, he got it from Dan Raphael. Yeah. Goofy ass dummy. You could never replace Dan Raphael or Rick Glazier on their worst day. You can't replace them on their worst day, dummy. Stay in your young ass YouTube lane and stay in your young ass YouTube lane and understand Dan Raphael and Rick Glazier got the pay-per-view number situation on lock when it comes to the numbers that we get. Nobody will ever believe a lying ass Pinocchio dummy like yourself. And nobody never listen to that dummy shit you be talking to, that you be talking. Plus you a motherfucking racist. You a racist on top of that. And the only motherfucking plugs, check this out. The only motherfucking plugs you know about is the plugs that's plugging you.